think of a pirate story, you probably picture a sunny island in the Caribbean Sea. A pirate with a wooden leg buries a chest full of Spanish gold coins. It is a great story. But the biggest, most amazing pirate treasures in history were not found there. The truly legendary fortunes, the kind that could make a pirate a king, were thousands of miles away. They were waiting on the other side of the world, in the warm waters of the Indian Ocean. This secret world of piracy was bigger and richer than anyone could imagine. So why did pirates leave the Caribbean? By the end of the 1600s, the easy days were over. The great navies of Europe, like the Royal Navy, sent huge warships to hunt them down. The seas were filled with patrols, making every pirate voyage a risky gamble. Even the famous Spanish treasure fleets, once easy targets, became floating fortresses. They sailed in large groups called convoys, protected by powerful warships bristling with cannons. For a pirate, attacking them was becoming a fool's mission. The Caribbean was no longer a pirate's paradise. It was a trap. But as one door closed, another opened. Pirates heard whispers of a new hunting ground. They heard tales of the incredible wealth of the Mughal Empire in India. This was one of the richest empires on earth, and its ships sailed the Indian Ocean. These ships were not just carrying cargo, they were floating treasure chests. Once a year, a grand fleet of ships sailed from India to Mecca for a religious pilgrimage. They carried gold, silver, fine silks, and precious jewels. And best of all, they were not heavily guarded. This began a new gold rush. Pirates from all over the world set sail on a long, dangerous journey. This epic voyage became known as the Pirate Round. It was one of the greatest adventures a person could take. The journey was huge. It was not a short trip. It could take a year or more just to get there. Pirates would start in North America or the Bahamas. They sailed east across the Atlantic Ocean, then south all the way down the coast of Africa, around its tip, and into the Indian Ocean. To make this incredible journey, the pirates needed a safe place to rest and plan. They found one. The giant island of Madagascar, off the coast of Africa, became their secret headquarters. It was a perfect pirate hideout. Madagascar was a lawless land, far from the reach of any king or navy. Here, pirates built their own towns, like the famous settlement on Île Sainte-Marie. It was a pirate utopia where they could repair their ships, trade their goods, and prepare for the greatest treasure hunts in history. On the shores of Madagascar, a new kind of world was born. This wasn't just a simple pirate hideout, it was a bustling town, a place where pirates from England, France, and Holland all lived together. They weren't just outlaws here, they were builders of a new society. This community was a true mix of people from all over the world. The pirates traded openly with the local kings of the island. They even freed captured slaves, who then joined their crews or settled on the island as free people. It was a frontier town unlike any other, built on freedom and treasure. But this new world needed a leader, even if they didn't know it yet. And that leader was a man named Henry Every. He wasn't just a pirate. He was a brilliant planner, a man with a vision so big it would make him the most wanted person on the planet. Every story began with a bold move. He was a sailor on a ship, but he saw a greater opportunity. He led a takeover, convincing the crew to sail for the Indian Ocean, promising them riches beyond their wildest dreams. They renamed their ship the Fancy, and a legend was born, Henry. Every knew that his powerful ship, the Fancy, might not be enough to capture the greatest treasures. He needed help. He needed a fleet. So he sailed to a perfect spot where all the treasure ships had to pass. A narrow strip of water connecting the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean. This place was called the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Its name means the Gate of Tears. Here, Every waited. He convinced other pirate captains to join him, promising them a share of a prize so large it was hard to imagine. Together, they formed a small, powerful pirate fleet ready to strike. Their target was a ship of legends. It was called the Ganji Sawai, which means exceeding treasure. This was no ordinary merchant ship. It was the personal treasure vessel of the great Mughal Emperor of India himself, one of the richest rulers in the world. The Ganji Sawai was a floating fortress. It was one of the biggest ships on the seas, armed with 80 cannons and protected by hundreds of soldiers. It carried not just gold and silver, but a treasure collected from an entire empire, a prize that could make every single pirate rich for life. Then, on the horizon, the pirates spotted it. The chase was on. Every small fleet raced after the giant treasure ship. Cannons roared across the water. The battle was fierce, and for a moment it seemed like the pirates had aimed too high. The massive ship was just too powerful. But then, something amazing happened. A single cannonball from every ship, the Fancy, flew through the air. It was a 1-in-a-million shot. It smashed directly into the main mast of the Ganji Sawai, breaking it in half. The giant ship was crippled, unable to escape. The greatest treasure on the seas was now helpless. When Henry Every's pirates boarded the great treasure ship, they found more than they could have ever dreamed. The ship's hold was not just full of treasure, it was overflowing. They discovered chests packed to the very top with gold and silver coins, sparkling diamonds, and priceless jewels. This was the single greatest treasure haul in the history of piracy. The total value was staggering. At the time, it was worth around £600,000. Today, that would be like finding hundreds of millions, or maybe even over $1 billion. It was enough money to make every single pirate on the crew rich for life. But taking this treasure was not a simple robbery. It created a huge problem that reached across the entire world. The powerful ruler of India, the Mughal Emperor, was furious. He threatened to punish England for the attack. He planned to take over all the trading posts of the English East India Company, a very important business. Think about that. One pirate attack was about to break the trade between two of the world's most powerful empires. The King of England realized he had to do something, and fast. This led to the very first worldwide manhunt in history. The goal was to find one man, Henry Every. Every's incredible success was also the reason the pirate round came to an end. His raid was so big, so famous, that it changed everything. The nations of the world could no longer ignore the pirates operating in the Indian Ocean. A new age of hunting pirates had begun. The powerful British Navy sent its warships halfway around the world. They sailed to the pirate-safe zones in Madagascar with one mission: to hunt down and destroy every pirate base. The easy days of raiding treasure ships were over. The golden age of the pirate round was ending, all because of one massive prize. And what about the man who started it all? The king of pirates, Henry Every? This is the most amazing part of the story. Despite the huge reward for his capture and the worldwide search, he was never caught. He and his crew simply disappeared. No one knows for sure what happened to him. Did he use his treasure to pay off a governor and live a quiet, rich life in America? Did his own crew cheat him out of his share, leaving him with nothing? Or did he just vanish, becoming a ghost, a legend whispered on the seas? The story of the pirate round shows us that real pirates were much more than we imagine. They weren't just simple sailors in the Caribbean. They were explorers and planners who built a network that stretched across the globe. They were so successful that they could challenge empires, change history, and create legends that we still tell today. The idea of a pirate burying treasure is mostly a myth. Real pirates, especially those who survived the pirate round, wanted to spend their riches. They bought houses, fancy clothes, and lived like kings for a short, glorious time. This sudden flood of pirate gold changed entire towns. News of this incredible wealth spread like wildfire. Sailors in dreary ports from Boston to Bristol heard the tales, stories of ordinary men returning with pockets full of diamonds and gold. This created a powerful dream. It was a dream of leaving a hard life behind for one of adventure. But this dream was a nightmare for the rulers of the world. Kings and emperors were outraged. Powerful trading companies lost huge amounts of money. They demanded action. For the first time, the world's most powerful navies began to cooperate. Their new mission was to hunt down these pirates, no matter where they sailed. Imagine being a merchant on a ship in the Indian Ocean. Every sail on the horizon could be a pirate. The fear was constant. The pirate round had turned a vital trade route into the most dangerous place on Earth. This fear changed how countries traded and protected their ships. The legend of Henry Every, the arch-pirate, only grew. People whispered that he had founded a new pirate kingdom, a secret island nation called Libertalia, hidden somewhere near Madagascar. While this was likely just a story, it shows how much these pirates captured the world's imagination. They were more than thieves. They were symbols of a different kind of freedom. But the golden age of the pirate round couldn't last. The journey was too long and dangerous, and now Navy warships were actively patrolling the route. The risk was getting bigger, and the reward was getting smaller. The easy targets were gone. Think about being a pirate captain planning a voyage. A few years ago, the trip was a brilliant idea. Now it was almost a suicide mission. You would have to be incredibly brave or incredibly foolish to try. Fewer and fewer chose to take that chance. Yet, the mystery of the treasure they captured remains. Not all of it was spent. Some ships sank in storms on the long journey home. Somewhere at the bottom of the ocean, there are still pirate treasures from the round. They are waiting in the dark, silent and undiscovered. The pirate round forced the world to change. It led to the first international anti-piracy laws. It made navies patrol the entire globe, not just their own coastlines. This global network of pirates created a global network of law enforcement to stop them. Ultimately, the pirate round proves that piracy was not just a Caribbean story. It was a worldwide event. It connected faraway places and cultures. It showed how a small group of determined people could challenge the most powerful empires on Earth, creating a legend that lasts forever.